Join Debra Jayne East for Skywatchers, a show for the UFO enthusiast. Skywatchers is on ELR.FM. Check out the schedule for the live show by going to ELR.FM. That's EngageLifeRadio.org. Skywatchers with Debra Jayne East.
Looking for a good time? ModernLovebooks.com. The one place to find that special book for that special time. ModernLovebooks.com.
Thank you for being a part of the Engaged Life family. Welcome home.
You have been listening to Skywatchers with Debra Jayne East. Contact us, Skywatchers, Facebook.com, or Alien Chronicles for more information.
Okay, we're back with Ted Mabbatt, and I would like to ask you, Ted, what do you think you would do if you're doing a CE5 expedition and you actually have a landing? Have you thought that out? What would you say?
Yeah, we discussed this a little bit amongst in the group, and also, kind of listening to what other people have experienced with that. Again, the peaceful intention and the open heart thing are something that you want to keep in mind the whole time you're doing it. And you need to realize, too, we talked about fear earlier. There's really nothing to be afraid of. We can get into abductions, and I can tell you all about what I really think that's all about, but there has been, at least as far as, Greer's been doing this CE5 stuff for like 20 years now, maybe more, maybe a little bit less, I don't know, a long time. They've been doing tons of expeditions, tons of CE5s out in every place imaginable all over the world. Not once have they had a negative experience, like somebody getting pulled up out of the ground, like whatever that guy in Fire in the Sky, which, you talked to him, and he said, yeah, that's not exactly how it went, but that's how they wanted it for the movie, because they needed to make
that's
it
how
exciting.
They portrayed it. That was the Travis Walton story.
Movies, right, exactly. All the E.T. movies that come out since the movie E.T., basically, well, with the exception of Avatar, have been putting E.T.s in a negative light, because they want us to be afraid of them. Okay, because the fear factor thing is, Caleb mentioned, touched on it, fear equals control. Anyway, I guess what we would do is that we wouldn't, you don't want to rush, you don't want to go running towards the craft. That might scare them off, for one thing. Try to connect to them through your heart, through your inner, your inner voice, and just see what happens. Maybe stand, put your palms outward so that they know that we are there with peaceful intentions, and let them make the move. It's really up to them. When part of the protocol is that we invite them to join us in any way that they see appropriate and safe for them, because there's a lot of evidence showing that they've been targeted over the years, starting with Roswell, for that matter, and we don't want to put a weird vibe on them or get too overly excited, although, of course, it's easy to say, you got a UFO land in front of you 100 feet away, it's going to, it's going to be like la-la-la-la-la-di-da, right? It's going to be pretty exciting. Your heart's going to be pounding, more than likely.
I would be jumping around, that's for sure.
If I could just quickly reference an experience that the three of us had, I think it's appropriate, because it was the three of us that you're talking to right now, plus one other gentleman, John, who had it was probably my most profound experience out at Sibbets Flat during a CE5. It was during the government shutdown. There was nobody out there. It was very dark, and we went through the protocols and the meditation, and within minutes, we started seeing, I guess, how Caleb described what they saw in Washington. It was just a beautifully, beautifully bright star-like objects that started to appear. We had basically three individual sightings within within 10 minutes, a 10-minute time span. Now, this is all on the audio recording that we have posted on our Facebook page, which we just finally got up. If you go to facebook.com//CE5 San Diego, there's an audio recording you can listen to. But just to give you a quick background so you kind of know what you're listening to, we all face a different direction so that the entire sky is covered. And then you'll start to hear it about 29 minutes in. That's when it starts to happen, and big time. And you can just hear the excitement in our voices as we're observing these craft. And the real confirmation one for me, though, was the second one, where it was two lights that appeared. And we were there during the day, of course, too, and we realized that they were really not that far away, maybe 1,000 yards, maybe two, less than a mile, I would say. And these two lights were traveling without sound. It was windy, but we would have heard them if they were jets because they were quite low. Perfectly bright white lights that were perfectly spaced apart from each other. Like they were traveling across the sky. If they were two jet fighters, they would have wandered slightly from each other. These were perfectly together, like they were one craft, but you could see the stars in between them. And as they traveled across, we all got this.
So they were totally in sync, is what you're saying. They were in sync with each other.
They were totally in sync with each other. They were perfectly in sync, flying across the sky. But not only that, it was just how beautiful they were. It's a white light. It's a beautiful white light that you'll know the instant you see it. So we got a really great light show that night. But as Peter mentioned, there's a lot more to it than that. It's more than a light show. It's connecting to them on a deep level and developing relationships with them that'll probably last for the rest of our lives. And they can manifest.
And I hope people will listen. I hope people will listen to it, because I actually listened to it myself. And honestly, guys, the hairs raised up on my arm. It was just so thrilling.
Oh, me too.
And it I was so envious.
Yeah, well, we didn't expect anything that night. I mean, I said, okay, here we are, 4 crazy guys. Nobody's there. We didn't. I didn't expect anything until like, oh my God, they're showing up before we're there. What's going on?
I know. How's that? Because a lot of times you wait and you don't see anything. But I think it goes back to what you said, Peter, about manifesting what you want to see.
And I think they knew the schedule, what was going on, because right after the appearance, the Border Patrol shows off, and then the air traffic shows off. It was weird. I think they already knew ahead of time.
Well, and the contact protocols, you use light, you use sound, and thought. And I think that is the most underlooked tool that we have, is that our thought is used to be able to contact.
Yep.
Caleb, I would like to ask you. Oh, true. Yeah, don't underestimate them. It's like, our minds are like an open radio station where they can hear, what we're thinking and what we're projecting. Caleb, we have a few minutes left, and I would like you to tell our audience, what do you hope the future of CE5 brings to the powers to be? What do you want them to say about CE5? Because I'm sure they have other means and things they're doing, in case we have ET contact. But what do you think the message is to them?
To free the people, to free our minds, to create the dialogue. I think that it's very important that our leaders, lift this embargo of.
I was hoping you would say that.
What's that?
Yes, I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah,
exactly.
The power of the mind is not something to underestimate. You have all the tools that you could ever need in order to reach, that enlightenment.
Yeah, we're not helpless.
That we can transcend into a higher form of being, a higher understanding of universal love. And I think that that's the message, is that there's this divine light of love that is involved in our reality, but it's sometimes the hardest thing to see when times are so tough. And it seems like, the heartache's never going to end. But, when you realize that we're all in this together and we truly are one, and the power of the people is, more powerful than anything, the light.
We're not helpless. We're not helpless like, that we're being made to believe. Ted, I want to give you a minute to give your final thoughts, and then we'll go to Peter.
I just want to say that Caleb just nailed it right on the head right there with his statement. It is about that. And, I mean, this is just a wonderful thing that's going on. I am so encouraged by how this movement is growing, and, for those of you out there that are still kind of like, well, what is this all about? Are these guys like some kind of cult or something? We're not like those guys that are going to hop on the ship, after the Hale-Bopp comet comes. Remember that guy? Wasn't that a trip?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we don't wear, all the same Nike sneakers and wear purple.
And you don't have tinfoil hats on.
No, we don't. We don't
no
have
tinfoil hats like
none
from
of that
Signs.
stuff. Like we all come from diverse backgrounds. We're all just like normal people who have had profound experiences, and we're seeking the truth, and we're seeking to better ourselves and humanity. And this is really important work. You can't underestimate the importance of what we're doing. We certainly don't, and we take it seriously. But like I said, we have fun. It's important to have a lighthearted mind as well, I think, just in life, and not take life too seriously. Sometimes I found myself doing that, and this has really helped. And finding this group of people who have the same desire, and we just want to continue the work. We want to continue to see our group grow with like-minded people, so please contact us through Facebook if you're interested if you're in the San Diego or Southern California area and would like to join us. We do have a little bit of a kind of an interview process. It's not because we're elitist or whatever. It's just that we want to make sure that you're coming from the same place of non-fear, and that you have the same intentions, and we would love to have you join our group. So,
and I hope everybody will do that. I seriously
Absolutely.
do, because I think they will be pleasantly surprised. And Peter, I want to wrap up with you. I do want you to share just briefly. You're very excited because you're adding someone new to your group, and you want to tell everybody what his talent is, and then you can tell us if you have any contact info.
Well, this new one is from Costa Rica. He has actually had contact down in Costa Rica, and him and his partner has moved up to San Diego just to make Ce-5 contact with us. I find that rather flattering. So he already has experience with it. We have another one from L.A. who actually drove all the way down here to be interviewed. His talent is, I think, security within the system. We need a security guy to watch the group from the outside to make sure there's no interference or other people coming in. We have another woman just applied today. I don't know exactly what's going on with her yet, but we'll find out later on. It's good to have a good pool of people because the core can change. It can grow to 9. It can shrink to 3. It's very dynamic. And what's so good about this group is there is no leader. I could be gone, Chet could be gone, anybody could be gone, but it still will continue on. It has a life that's organic, it's sustainable. I can see other groups like this going on. It's like Occupy the Cosmos.
Wow, I like that. Maybe you just created a new little saying since our other one come out of the UFO closet got taken. I like that. Occupy the universe. That's really cool. You are good at coming up with stuff like that, Peter. And how can they contact you?
contact us through the Facebook page that Ted created for us. Thank Dr. Ted. It's Ce-5 San Diego Facebook.
And I hope you'll continue to put your expeditions on there. And I'd like to get a shout out to one of your other team members, Olga, who was going through some training, but we'll have her on at a later date. She has some special talents that I would like to highlight. And once again, you guys, you're phenomenal. I think your group will have much success, and I hope you'll keep us informed of what all is going on in the future, and I plan on having you back again. So thank you, Peter. Thank you, Ted. And thank you, Caleb, for a wonderful view of the Ce-5 experience. Thanks, everyone, for joining Skywatchers, and we'll be back next week at the same time with more exciting events going on in the skies.
You have been listening to Skywatchers with Debra Jayne East. Contact us, skywatchersfacebook.com or Alien Chronicles for more information.
Thank you for being a part of the Engaged Life family. Welcome home.
Welcome to Rachel Love's Horoscope Predictions, brought to you by Engaged Life FM. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Enjoy. It's Rachel Love with your weekly horoscope readings from February 21st to the 28th, the end of February. Aries. Expect more grief when it comes to folks asking for your help. Seems you're going to feel extra needed and favor is going to be called in. Might feel a bit put upon, but they really do need you this week. Your skills are important to others to succeed. Careful what they don't take you for granted, though. Use your voice to let them know that you have needs of your own. Taurus, my sisters, you're going to be experiencing the Twilight Zone this week. For those of us that are too young to know what I mean, Twilight Zone is a vintage black and white television show available on cable and Netflix. The concept of the show is that someone finds themselves in a very unusual and mysterious situation, in need of some cosmic message. Gemini, you're lost in translation. Your ideas are still on course, but there seems to be some issue in regards to the folks involved hearing your voice. No worries, they find their hearing aid batteries were weak and replace them, and you'll be back in the conversation. Cancer, I'm like you. I've had enough drama in my life and have no real need to keep on going with it. But this week there is still a leftover situation that didn't come to the end we had hoped. The thing that was needed was to take a chance with our hearts. What I mean by that was we were pulling back to protect our hearts. The matter didn't get resolved. So take the chance to be hurt and you can find the answer to this problem finally resolved. No more drama. Leo, like the sales pro, you know what needs to be said to make a sale. This week your salespersonship is not helping you. The need to win has overcome your common sense here. Let it go. Chalk this one up for a no sale and move on. The situation you find yourself involved in takes being true to your heart and accepting you don't always have to be right. Virgo, like our Gemini sisters this week, there's an issue with hearing as well. In your case, it is the folks who are trying to hear you, but you're keeping your voice silent. Open up your mouth and speak the truth, for your voice is needed to help people understand your point of view. You have the wisdom to help them overcome some troubles. Plus, you'll find this helping them also helps you. Libra, this week, you'll also face someone who is hell-bent on doing it their way and reject your more logical solution. Don't be so stubborn yourself, insisting it be only one way. If you slightly alter your idea, that somebody who has been butting heads with you will finally understand. Both of you will be happy with the resulting success. Scorpio, I wish I was a Scorpio this week, for you know you have been enjoying a great few weeks, and this week is no different. Everything is coming up roses for you. Even the stuff in the compost pile is smelling good. Enjoy as one by one things are lining up for you. Keep your feet in the ground, but skip as much as you want. Sagittarius, not easy to move mountains with only a spoon, but this week with help from the universe, you're about to receive a big help with your efforts. This is the week when somebody will lend you that hand you need. Help lift the furniture so you can clean under it. Take out the trash. You get what I'm trying to say, I hope. You will find unexpected help this week. Go ahead and accept the gift. Capricorn, this week you'll find that the person with the beautiful smile has something inside her that you perhaps never noticed before. You believe you're a good judge of character, and certain traits have always given you a clue as to the person's intentions. But this week you might be surprised that you judge somebody as just another pretty face, and she is much, much more. Aquarius, I hope you have been diligent in keeping your roots covered. You're about to be on stage and you will want to be looking your best. I know you prefer to keep the limelight off and stay in the shadows sometimes, but this week you'll be under the light and folks will see you for who you really are. This exposure, however uncomfortable, will reveal a thing or two about yourself you have been avoiding that you really should deal with. Perhaps the question, does this outfit make my butt look fat, will be answered truthfully, thereby allowing you the opportunity to go shopping for a better pair of jeans. Pisces, pretty sure I've mentioned this to you before. You need to allow people to sink or swim. You can't save everyone, for by trying to do so, you're hurting them in the long run. That being said, I know you like being the one who saves the day by jumping into the pool, but how about allowing somebody else to help you, and you can allow some time to devote to yourself this week. Deal with some of those issues about yourself you have been trying to avoid by being so busy. This week, take some time for your own sake. You really do need to strengthen your own heart and learn to love yourself more. Again, thank you for listening. This is Rachel Love, the Ghost Whisperer, on Engage Life FM for the weekly horoscopes, February 21st to the end of February the 28th. Rachel Love's Horoscope